Hi, and welcome to Sci in 5, where the drawings are a little crude, but the science is legit. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you have any questions, please ask them below, and I'll get to them as quick as I can. Well, let's get started.
So this first column that we have right here, this is what is known as Orthokeratinized epithelia. So let's kind of break down what exactly that means. So if we're looking at this, we have these first three layers right here, and these first three layers are going to represent the stratum corneum. And what's key about this stratum corneum is, if you look at it, we see no representation of a nuclei anywhere. There is no organelles. Of course, it's keratinized, and they're all flat cells. So if we look at it compared to this cell right here, these are all flat cells. Now the next layer, the next two layers that we're looking at, this is the stratum lucidum. And so these three-ish layers right here, or two-ish layers almost, I should say two-ish layers, not really three. So this kind of area right here, this is your stratum lucidum. And this is only going to be in your skin. So this kind of area is going to be found mainly in skin. Then your next layer is going to be your stratum granulosum, which is right around here. So the stratum granulosum is where you're starting to see the keratinohyaline, which is kind of these sad-looking structures. And these are these granules that you're going to find, the keratinohyaline granules that are going to be found in this stratum granulosum. And if you think about it, in the name you have granulo, and this is where you're going to have granules. So the name kind of tells you, okay, this is what you should expect. And then this last bottom layer right here, this is the stratum basale. And if you think basal or basale, what that means is basal or basement. We can think of this as our bottom layer. And this is going to have your large cell. This is where cell division is going to occur. Now the orthokeratinized keratin cells, this is going to be found. So orthokeratin is mainly going to be found in your masticatory mucosa, as well as specialized mucosa, skin, and also in skin. So that's kind of like the big thing you need to know about the orthokeratinized. And our next is the parakertinized. So now, one thing that I forgot to mention is that this layer right here, this is our stratum spinosum. And this is where you're going to have the large cells, your intercellular junctions, they're going to sit through there. Okay, now let's look at the parakertinized. This is this group right here, so the parakertinized. So I'm going to start out by saying that the parakertinized, this is also going to be found in your masticatory mucosa. Similar to orthokeratinized, we also are going to have the stratum cornea. So now, some things that I kind of forgot to draw are these little structures right here, and as you probably guessed it, these are going to be nuclei. So in our stratum cornea, which is this top layer right here, now we're going to have a nuclei. There's going to be few organelles, keratin, and flattened cells. So the difference between ortho versus para is that the para has nuclei and few organelles. Everything else is the same. So they're both going to be flattened. They're both going to have keratin. Just remember, para meaning few organelles as well as keratin. Now, if we go into the stratum granulosum, which is the second layer right around here, and I'm just going to call it SG, being that we're now calling this parakertinized, the other difference is this is going to have few keratinohyaline granules, while the orthokeratin has keratinohyaline granules. So as we're going into para, we're gaining nuclei and few organelles in our stratum cornea, but now we're losing keratinohyaline granules. In the stratum spinosa, which I'm going to call SP, or SS I should say, stratum spinosum, now what we're going to have is the same as before. They're both going to have large cells, they're both going to have intercellular junctions. And in the stratum basale, which is SB, this is going to have same as what we saw before, is the large cells, and this is where our cell division happens. So the big difference between ortho versus para is really just in this top layer right here. Again, there's nuclei, there's few organelles, and the other difference is the stratum granulosum has the keratinohyaline granules, but it's going to be fewer than the orthokeratinized. Now let's look at the last layer. Alright, so this last one that we have right here, this is our non-keratinized. And the non-keratinized is going to be found in the lining of the mucosa. So now, in the non-keratinized, we have this new title. We have the stratum superficiale. So if you think about it, it's non-keratinized, it's a superficial layer, hence the name superficiale. We have some nuclei here, some organelles. The big difference now is there's no keratin in this, as the name says. So as we're going from left to right, what's happening is we're finding nuclei in the top layer, and we're finding organelles. And as we're going more towards the right, we're finding more organelles compared to before where we saw no organelles. One thing that's remaining consistent is the top layer is always flat. So we're going down to the stratum spinosum, which is this layer right here. This, same as before, we have large cells, intercellular junctions, and the stratum basale, which is large cell and where cell division happens. So really our only difference is from here up. So our top layer, the stratum corneum, and then, for these guys, the stratum granulosum, that's where we're starting to see the difference. But everything below, where the stratum spinosum happens and below, is exactly the same in all these types of keratinocytes. Well, I hope this helps. If you have any questions, put them below. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. And as always, please subscribe